CM 365, all about Carnatic music.
As musicians and rasikas, today is a very important day for us because today happens to be World Music Day, a celebration of musicians and music. If we look at the world over, we see that there is one thing which is common among all the people, and that is, of course, music, which all of us actually love. There are so many genres of music, so many kinds of music prevalent all over the world. And I'm sure that there is at least one music that each one of us love, in the sense that as a classical musician, I like to listen to Carnatic music. Maybe if you're more devotionally inclined, you would like to listen to more of bhajans and devotional songs. But the point here is that world over, we see that all of us actually have a great love for music. And a composition, a tune, a rhythm, or some kind of lyrics, actually, it has got a profound impact on our mind also. There is actually nothing more wonderful than listening to your favorite song. In fact, it regenerates you, and sometimes you're so fond of the song and that it keeps lingering in your mind and you keep on humming it also. Sometimes it takes you on a beautiful journey, that is, it makes you relive the past, I would say. For example, there may be some song that you're hearing now. That same song you would have heard probably 20 years back. Very frequently you must have been hearing that song. So when you again listen to this particular song, it is not only about listening to that song, but also reliving the memories, many things, the ambience, the environment, and many things associated with the music also comes to your mind, and it creates some kind of a happy feeling within you. Sometimes some days are really very, very horrible, in the sense that many things go wrong for us. But listening to some favorite music actually makes you believe that after all, the day is not as bad as you really thought it to be. And then we also see that this music can relieve us from our depression. And of course, in the context of classical music, we can say that it elevates us to a very great extent. It educates us, it elevates us, it enriches us. So there are many more qualities associated with classical music, which sets it as a class apart, I would say. And it is all about, actually, this World Music Day is about celebrating music in all its forms, and the impact it has had actually on the world and human spirit. Keeping in mind how impactful music can be, we see that World Music Day is celebrated on 21st June, and it could be regarded as a massive cultural exchange, and it also brings society much closer. Actually, music plays a very, very strong role, I would say, in bringing the whole society much closer. Now we are talking about World Music Day, and I personally was wondering what is the history behind this, or rather how did it actually start. So I thought I'll share that interesting information also with you. Some of you may be knowing, but this is for those who do not know as to how this World Music Day actually had its origin. We see that this particular World Music Day, the intention was to basically motivate budding youngsters and professional musicians to perform and support the love of music around the world. It had its origin basically in France and celebrated as Fête de la Musique. This started in the year 1982. The then French Minister of Art and Culture, Jacques Lang, and Maurice Floret, a French composer and radio journalist, actually were instrumental in starting the fest in the streets of Paris. Now, why did they actually start, or rather what motivated them to start this? They observed that there were a big, or rather a very large group of young musicians and instrumentalists. That is, many of them were singers or they played the instruments, but they seldom got an opportunity actually to showcase their talent. Because we know that auditoriums are meant for only professional musicians, but there was actually a large spectrum of youngsters who were into music, but they never got to display their talent. So they wanted to, actually, they created a plan to bring amateurs and professional musicians all on the streets. Floret was, as I said, a composer and also a radio journalist, played a very crucial role in implementing this concept. And on 21st June 1982, concerts took place in several public places in Paris, and musicians from the remotest corners of France were invited to perform in this particular festival. Later on, we see that this caught on very well because of the fact that when it was performed on the streets, everybody could get access to the music. That is, one side we could see that from the professional side, we could see that the professional performers as well as the amateurs both got a uniform kind of a platform to perform. The second thing is, of course, when you are performing in an auditorium, you have an elite audience which buy tickets probably to attend the show. But here, when it was performed on the street, so it was open to the masses and everybody could get a feel of the music, and that is what made it very, very special. And we see that here, other European countries adopted this, seeing that this was a very novel method of reaching music to a larger spectrum of people. Many countries in Europe adopted it as an annual event. And later on, we see that a charter was signed in Budapest in 1997. And since then, World Music Day is celebrated in more than about 120 countries which take part in it. What is very significant about this particular festival is that the whole thing is free of charge. That is, the music is accessible to everyone free of charge. And musicians also perform free without charging any kind of fee for this. In India, of course, now only this, in the recent years, this day, celebrating days has caught on in the sense that we started celebrating Father's Day, Mother's Day, Sister's Day, Brother's Day, Uncle's Day, Auntie's Day, and so on. And that way, World Music Day also has become a part of our celebration. Some people may ask, when we are singing throughout the year and when we are listening to music throughout the year, do we really need a day to celebrate all this and to focus on it? The whole thing is actually meaningless. Some may have that kind of an opinion. But I would say that there are many things in life which we take for granted. When they are there with us, we really do not know their value, or we do not understand their value. But when we focus specially on it, we understand, or rather we try to, really understand the value of the whole thing. So that way, celebrating music, World Music Day, I would say, is more about focusing on the multitude of benefits that music has for us in terms of enriching the individual, in terms of cultural exchange, in terms of, the bringing the society together. So there are so many beautiful, I would say that richness in music that is very, very important for us to understand. And today, celebrating World Music Day is all about celebrating art, artists, and all that this great music can do in terms of enriching ourselves, the society, and the world.
CM 365, all about Carnatic music.